Thank you very much, Ms McMillan. I call Ruth Maguire to be followed by James Dornan.
Presiding Officer, 1 woman is killed by a man every 3 days in the United Kingdom. That figure is unchanged in a decade. 1 woman killed by a man every 3 days. This afternoon, I have 4 minutes to contribute to our Parliament's debate on making Scotland equally safe, marking the annual International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. With those murdered women and their families very much on my mind, colleagues will forgive me if I don't use my time highlighting good work that's ongoing and just get straight to the point. Scotland is not equally safe, and 4 minutes is not enough time to do service to all the women and girls subjected to men's violence in our unequal society. Too many women in Scotland still face the burning injustice of workplace sexual harassment, pregnancy discrimination, domestic abuse, female genital mutilation, so-called honour crimes, sexual assault, rape, trafficking, stalking and prostitution. And globally, women and girls are being refused access to education, and they are trapped in conflicts in which rape is used as a weapon of war. The number of sex-selected abortions is rising, the number of deaths relating to pregnancy and childbirth is needlessly high, and women and girls are prevented from making deeply personal choices about their reproductive health care. We know inequality is both a cause and a consequence of these abuses of the rights of women and girls. And we know to end these human rights abuses, to end the violence, to end the killing, there has to be action and investment. There has to be legislation, policy and action on the ground in all areas. It's clear to me that we understand the continuum of women's inequality and subsequent male violence. So we must never kid ourselves on that picking off palatable challenges to address bit by bit is enough to address this problem. The truth, which I acknowledge is uncomfortable for some, but it's the truth nonetheless, is that as long as female bodies are objectified, commodified, and reduced to something to be bought and sold, used and traded, we will not have equality and we will not have justice. Prostitution is violence. Despite what a vocal minority might say, this is not a controversial position to hold. In policy terms, the Scottish Government's Equally Safe strategy recognises this violence. It is unambiguous and it has been for years. The laws of our country must be equally as clear. That they remain unaligned is wholly unacceptable. I know this is not easy. There is a vocal pro-prostitution lobby in this country. Men's demand for sexual access to women is big business. Something not being easy has not stopped us before. It should be to our collective shame that Scotland at the moment is a place where our legislative framework means that criminal gangs profiting from the sexual exploitation of women trafficked from out with this country and within it to meet male demand can hide in plain sight using so-called adult services websites. Even a cursory glance at one of these sites would show you, in this city, right now, as we stand in this, albeit quite empty, but warm and comfortable chamber, there are women who've been trafficked here, who are being subjected to abuse, violence and humiliation to satisfy the demand of a minority of men who wish to purchase sexual access to women and girls. And it is a minority of men, but the damage that minority do is pervasive, impacting our whole society and putting all women and girls in harm's way. This Parliament has all the powers it needs to take legislative action and end, not mitigate the harms, the serious harms and abhorrent abuses of human rights commercial sexual exploitation causes women and girls. It's beyond time we got on with doing just that.